Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, January 4th. It is 6:23 right now. Market's going to open in about 7 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a couple of things here to update and we should be good to go. All right, looks good. Looks good. And let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. All right, link sent out. Looks like we are good to go. All right, so as people join in, I'm going to go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here on the daily time frame. It's pretty much as far as I'll go. 8 hour, 4 hour, 2 hour. Going down to the 1 hour. Going down to the 30-minute. That's red. Down to the 15-minute. Down to the 10-minute. Down to the 1 minute. And it looks like we are good to go. All right, so the first level of liquidity is going to be up here at, I'll leave this up. First level of liquidity is going to be up here at 37,803 if it pushes up for a buy. Lower level right here at 37,718 for a sell. And we'll see how this moves as market continues to, obviously move along. So, all right, guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, January 4th. It is 6:27 right now. Market's going to open in about 3 minutes. Morning, Rashida. Morning, Karen. Morning, Jeff. Morning, Kenny. Morning, everybody. Let's take a look at the 5-minute real quick, like I mentioned yesterday, so you can kind of see where price was moving during London session. So London session looks like it was pretty much consolidating for the most part, but then it did slightly push to the upside. So possibly, if you want to look for those 1 minute liquidity, you can probably look for some buys. I think that's going to go hand in hand with the retail sentiment anyways. Retail sentiment is currently 82% short. This indicates that 82% of retail traders are currently selling right now. So you typically want to do the opposite and buy. So we got that there. Looking over here at the fundamentals. The fundamentals are currently unchanged right now because market's going to open up shortly. We had news over here at 4:30. We had a lot of news actually. News at 2:30, 4:30, 5:15, and 5:30. So 2:30, 4:30. That's a lot of news. I'll come back to that in a little bit. There's a lot of news for me to mark up there. We got 6:30 right here, 8 o'clock here. Let me go to the 4 hours, see if there's any structure here for me to draw up. Same structure from yesterday, pretty much. Price didn't really move too far. We got some structure down here. All right, so pretty much 4 hours support and resistance. That's pretty much it right there. 4-hour support and resistance. See how price moves here on open. Looking over here at one of our, let's go to our main chart first. So we had news at 2:30, 4:30, 5:15, 5:30. Okay, I'm gonna try to remember that. So it was 2:30. Random time for news, US news specifically. 2:30, 4:30, 5:15. Yeah, it's a lot of random news. 5:15 and 5:30. Bunch of news events right there. Again, 2:30. Right there. 2:30. 4:30. Oh, yeah, I don't know what happened there. Let me just delete everything again. So we had 2:30. 4:30. Market's moving kind of crazy right now, guys. So I wouldn't recommend taking the breakout if you guys are looking to take it. I'm not even bothered looking at it because I don't want you guys to FOMO into any of those moves there. Market is now open. 5:15 and 5:30. All right, so let's go back to our main chart over here. Market is now open, guys. You guys can see this crazy candle. I already saw it moving pretty crazy, so I didn't even bother to look for the breakout. But if you guys are looking for the breakout, we currently have a sell signal. So if you're looking for the breakout version 1, you'll be looking for a strong red candle, which obviously is not here. So you didn't really miss out on much on that crazy candle right there. I'm going to put this up over here. Again, guys, I personally don't like taking the breakout. The only reason I was really looking at the breakout was for Steven, because that's what he liked to take, but Steven didn't necessarily follow when I mentioned not to take it. So he kind of decided not to take the breakout anymore, which I think is in his best interest. He's going to be taking the breakout V3 continuations, which is what I typically take anyways. So yeah, Steven's gonna, the breakout's never been one of my favorites. That's why I stopped using it. I only apply it, or I only cover it when people ask me to, but for the most part, it's not a good, it's a good strategy, but it's a very risky strategy unless you take everything with it. Yeah, exactly. So Nick said breakout as a confluence. That's what I use. I use the breakout as a confluence, but I don't take it as an initial entry. Natasha's asking what's the current ATR. ATR is currently 13 right now, so it's pretty decent. It's typical for open, so we'll see. So we currently have price still bouncing back and forth, rejected directly off the sessions right here. We have a pending buy signal. If we get a buy signal, I'm hoping that it closes above this session so we can get a possible breakout V3 continuation, or a breakout V3 in general. But yeah, it's still kind of bouncing back and forth right here. So we'll see if this candle here closes, and then we'll see if there's any opportunity for breakout V3 once this candle closes. We got about 4 seconds left on the candle. This here would be the original breakout version 1 if it closes. So this would be the original breakout right here. Price is kind of bouncing back and forth now, as you guys can see. This would be the breakout. So, but it's right at the session, so obviously not one that I would personally take, because it's at the sessions, red flag. So if the candle closes green, this will technically be a breakout version 3. The only problem here is that price is extremely overextended. I don't know if I really want to take this type of entry right here, even if it closes, but it's pushed up about 1,000 pips off one, like pretty much one candle. So I'll probably just let the market stabilize a little bit before I look to take any entries here. I'm just being smart about the market this week. It's the first trading week of the year. You're going to get a lot of crazy volatility here. it's not necessarily going to be moving very smooth. So the breakout version 1 is technically running right now if anybody's taking it. I don't think anybody takes the breakout version 1 anymore. I think some people take it as a confluence, but they don't necessarily take it standalone. And I wouldn't have taken it anyways because it was touching the sessions right here. There's no green candle to follow it, so there was no breakout version 3. That's typically what we look for. I don't really like the breakout version 1 as much. And I for sure wouldn't take it if it's touching the sessions like it did right here. So yeah, and also CSUK mentioned that this is NFP week. So there's just a lot of stuff going on this week, guys, that you guys want to be careful for. A lot of possibilities of getting caught in fake outs and whatnot. So let's see if there's anything else here for us to look at. Nothing really. Let me mark up opening price right here too on the clean chart. So it looks like I'll probably be drawing structure over here on the 1 minute. The 1 minute support here lined up with the 4-hour support, as you can see down there. So this is a pretty strong support zone down here. Yeah, Maddie said if it goes for a second touch of liquidity, it'll probably blast right through. Yeah. Unless it just ranges around this area, which with the 1 minute resistance. And the 4-hour support. It looks like price might just be ranging here for a little bit. Eventually price will probably push to the upside. But yeah, I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. Technically, the trend here is still bearish. So I mean, if you get a sell signal here and a red candle, this could be a possible breakout V3 continuation for a sell. So, I mean, the trend here is still bearish, as you guys can see. We have a structure down here. I'll mark this up blue for any high-low scalps that might come up. So yeah, if we get a sell signal here, this could still be a possible breakout V3 continuation or a breakout V3 in general. The breakout V3 actually didn't come out yet. So it could be a possible breakout V3 continuation and a breakout V3, just regular breakout V3. But you guys can see that, it's kind of spiking back and forth a lot. But it's pretty simple to see here. If you look over here on the 1 minute, you can see that it's pretty much just in a range. It's just ranging back and forth between this lower support level and this upper resistance level. All right, we got the pending sell signal here. Let's take a look at the fundamentals real quick. Should be updated now. Fundamentals are currently up 59 points. So pretty much neutral right now. Looking over here at the technicals, the 1 minute is bearish, 5 minute is neutral, 10 minute is neutral, 30 minutes neutral, 1 hour is bearish, 4 hour is neutral. So it's pretty mixed right now. There's not really much of a specific direction. You guys can see here the sell signal hasn't closed. It kind of came up for a little bit, then it disappeared, and then it rejected directly off the news price. So looks like price is just churning right now. That's kind of how I see what's happening at this moment. Price is pretty much just churning up and down. It's trying to lure in buyers and sellers on both sides before it starts to stop everybody out, right? My guess is that long-term direction is going to be bullish, but it's probably not going to happen very smoothly and not very clearly. It's going to happen eventually, but I think they're going to keep churning traders within this area. I mean, you can see the range. I already drew up the range here on the clean chart. It's just ranging back and forth to basically lure in traders on both sides. The problem with this here is that it's ranging very heavily. It's not a small range, right? It's a huge range. ATR is currently 18 right now. So if you're in a range right here, you got to have a really, really wide stop loss because this thing's moving back and forth like 600 pips. So for me personally, I'd probably just be careful right here and just wait a little bit because eventually I'm expecting price to push up. The only thing here is that I'm waiting for price to get away from the sessions. It's again touching the sessions right here, so it's not exactly the best area to make entry. We do have a double body right here, so that's a nice confluence for reversal to the upside. This could have been a V1 continuation. But again, we'll see where this goes. Because price might push up and then it might just come right back down. It's getting up to the 1 minute resistance level right here. We'll see if it double tops up here and comes back down. Or if it decides to break through it, break and retest the level and continue climbing, right? There's a lot of different things here that can happen. You want to make sure that there's like maybe two scenarios, not three, not four, just two scenarios, right? It's either going to go one direction or the other, and you're either going to be right or wrong. You don't want to be in between where you're kind of a maybe, because if that's the situation, then you kind of don't have a really good edge in the market. Yeah, exactly. Andrew said, wish that sell momentum closed before this push. I was hoping so too, because if that sell momentum pushed right here, then we could have got the buy momentum right back up, right? That's exactly what I was looking for. So we still need that retracement confirmation, or basically a sell confirmation, until we can really look for anything. You can see again right here, price pretty much got close to the resistance, or really just got close to the sessions right here, faked out, and it's coming right back into the range. So again, sessions are going to be one of the main things to be careful for. I try to make it as obvious as possible. You can see right here, the purple line. This is pretty much where the manipulation happens. This green candle right here pushed up, it touched the purple line, manipulated back down. Price came back up, touched the purple line, manipulated back down. Same pattern, nothing new. And again, we're just waiting patiently for any opportunities here to come up. The main things I'm looking for are going to be momentum pullback scalps and breakout V3 continuations. Main things right there. I'll probably look for some high-low scalps. If I see something good, I'll take it. But again, I'm being very patient about my opportunities and entries here, because I'm not looking to kind of get suckered into these trades. All right, so it's coming back into the range. Nothing new here. That's literally coming back right into the range. So I'll keep updating the range here when there's new levels, but you guys can see here from the clean chart, it's pretty obvious where price is kind of just sitting in right down the middle. It's just churning back and forth, luring in buyers and sellers on both sides. Eventually, it's going to break out. My guess is it's going to break out to the upside. That's where I'm seeing, because a lot of confluences that we looked at here indicate that. So let's go back to the 5-minute here. I think this is going to be it's not a clean push to the upside, but you guys will see here. So I'll mark up 12 o'clock, which is London open right there. We'll mark it up until market open here, 6:30. So it's not really a clean move. It's not a clean move to the upside. Actually, it's not even a move to the upside at all. Now that we've kind of cleaned it up here, price has pretty much been going sideways. So the range is actually like right here from London session. So, I mean, price can go either way. If price was bullish, then we can expect it to maybe climb up higher. But I mean, realistically, it's just in a range. It faked out up here, and I just came back into the lower range. So that London session confluence isn't really going to be super helpful for us. Not as helpful as I was hoping for. So I mean, it's all good. It's not a big deal. It's just I like to use that as a confluence so we could kind of look for where we could look for liquidity. But I'd still be looking for buys here for the most part, because the retail sentiment is still very bullish. All right, so price is pushing back up right here. Yeah, exactly. Maddie said pivots need to fan out, angle up a bit. Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm looking for too. So I don't know if Craig's here. Is Craig here right now? Yeah, Craig's here. So Craig, he's been super successful with his trading ever since he rejoined the group. Craig keeps it like super simple. Like what he does is he looks for pivot scalps where price kind of pushes up, retraces down, and continues up higher, like above the pivots, and then he waits for the pivots here to fan out. So if I see something like that, I'll kind of give you guys a heads up. But he uses a basic, yeah, exactly. Craig says simple is best. And that's what Kip does too. I don't know if Kip's here right now, but Kip, he does that, and he's very successful with just taking pivot scalp entries. But he doesn't take every single pivot scalp entry. He looks for the simple moves where it pushes up, retraces below the pivots, and then swings back up. As long as the pivots are fanned out, he takes those trades. And if you guys look at the profits here from like Kip and Craig, so Craig over here was up 4,600 yesterday. He was taking buys when there was like no buys there. He just looked for the perfect buy entries. And then also Kip too. So if you guys saw Kip's profits, he was up pretty heavily as well. I don't remember where Kip's at, but he's on here somewhere. There he is. Kip made about 5,000 as well. He takes those very basic pivot scalp entries. So, simple is probably the best way to go, guys. I know a lot of people want to complicate things and look at like so many different patterns and stuff like that. But if you just look for the momentum where there's like a very clear trend, it's very simple to catch 100 pips here and there. We got some profits here from Kenny. Looks like Kenny took the buy earlier for the breakout. Total profit of 4,040 for the day. All wins. Nice work, Kenny. And we got Kayshawn over here with a total profit of 216 for the day. All wins as well. Nice work, Kayshawn. All right. So with that said, yeah, Craig said he's working on 3 accounts now. Profit target today, profited today on his funded and both challenges. Yeah, definitely nice work right there, Craig. Looking at the news, we have news in about a few seconds at 6:45, and we have more news at 7:30. So 6:45, which is the next candle, and 7:30. $6:45. And of course, 7:30. All right. Here goes the news candle. Looks like all the news is pretty much bunched up in one area. They're all within this one area right here, which is fine. We'll come back and take a look at that shortly. Mark up news real quick. There goes news right there. So we got all news in about one small area. The news for that was S&P Global Composite PMI inflation news. It was negative and positive, mixed news for today. So there's not really going to be any correction that we can look for because it pretty much went both ways. So, all right. Other than that, we will continue to look for any other opportunities here. But it's not looking like we have anything here at the moment. So see what happens here. So what I would like to see here is I'd like to see a sell signal. Personally, I'd like to see a sell signal, and I'd like to see a continuation to the upside. You can see over here this 1 minute resistance. I'm not going to make a new level because you can see it was just a fake out. Price faked out above resistance right here, came right back down, and now it's back in the range again. So again, we're just waiting here. It looks like the trend might be shifting. If the trend's shifting, then we can start looking for some possible buys here for the high lows. There might be a high low scalp V2 right here. So we have price that broke above it right here. It's coming back down. 1, 2. Yeah, so price does swing back up. There could be a possible high low scalp right there. High low scalp version 2. Again, if anybody's looking to take that, it's not. The trend here still hasn't confirmed, so I don't know if it's going to be a super clean entry or anything like that, but it's, I mean, it still sets up for a high low scalp V2 if anybody is looking to, obviously take that there. So it looks like I already hit. I don't know if anybody got into it. I was thinking about getting into it, but it's a little too late. Yeah, it just happened too quick. So the high low scalp V2 is right there. I mean, technically the actual trade is it's continuing to run. Close black. So that's the 100 pip mark right there. Yeah, I was trying to put a buy stop there, but it was a little too late. See if this here could maybe fill it. See if it continues to obviously bounce around here. See where I got it from. It's just too late. It's too late for me to make any entry here. So, all right, there's technically the high-low scalp V2 is currently running right here. If anybody is looking to, maybe get into it, I'm going to continue watching over here for any possible opportunities for me to get in at some later point. Right now, I'm just going to watch, see where this goes. So it looks like price might come down to, let's see, the The session's right there, might bounce off it. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't get into it. So I didn't get into the trade there. You guys can see that I mean, it's moving super crazy right now. Price, it just keeps faking out. So this area right here is the same area that I marked up earlier. It's that whole fake out area. And it just pulls back right back into the range right here. So I'm not really looking to take anything here just yet. I mean, even the trend here hasn't really confirmed yet. So you guys can see over here the trend for the high-low scalp. You would need the pivots to really be fanning to the upside. It looked like it was about to fan out, but it didn't actually fan out. It kind of just, I mean, went back and forth and then not exactly closed where you needed to. So again, we're still just waiting. There's nothing here for us to really take. I mean, the high-low scalp V2, it didn't really look good because the trend here hasn't shifted. That was what I was waiting for. I was waiting for price to kind of sit around this area and then look for the trend here to confirm. But the trend here hasn't really confirmed yet. It's still kind of going back and forth. And this whole area here it's still stuck. So the same area where I drew the circle, this is where the fake out happened. So, I mean, same situation right there. Price came up, faked out, double fake out basically. And then pull back into the range. This is the same range that price has been in pretty much all morning. So not really worth the risk right now. You know, I'm going to continue to remind you guys, it's not worth risking anything I mean, there's just no worth, it's not worth to risk anything when price is stuck within this area. If you want to take some trades, wait for it to like push above and continue climbing, or wait for it to push below and same situation down here, continue climb to the downside, right? Yeah, I mean, the ATR is super high right now. It's currently at 20, which is good, but it's also bad. It's good because the market's moving. It's bad because the market isn't really moving, right? This would be good if ATR was high and you have a continuous push to the upside, right? This would be great. If ATR is 20, it keeps pushing up, pull back, push up, pull back, push up. But right here, price isn't doing that. Price is just going back and forth within a range. You don't want a volatile range. That's probably like the worst type of market to be trading in, because you can get stopped out on both sides. You can get stopped out taking a buy, you can get stopped out taking a sell. Like you can only imagine here, people chasing these sells here, right? People think that price is rejecting directly off the resistance here. And what do you think as soon as people enter a sell right here? People enter a quick sell, they get stopped out because the volatility is just too high right here. So again, I'm just going to sit tight, guys, and wait. This is kind of the same situation that was happening yesterday. This is normal for NFP, and then also for the first week of the year, the volatility is just super high where it's really difficult to really identify and confirm a direction because price just keeps going back and forth. So I'm gonna take this off right here. There's another level right here, but again, I wouldn't really mess with it because you can see that there's 3 different levels here. And this just indicates that price is in a range, right? If you have 2 levels, fine, but there's 3 levels right here, so it's not really looking too great at the moment right now. Yeah, Kevin said he didn't like it because it was right at news. Ben Harwick said he didn't like it either. Yeah, it didn't look that great. So again, we're just going to be waiting. Nothing for us to really look for here. I mean, it's not really too much to there's nothing to work with in general. We just got to wait for something here to come up, and once it does come up, hopefully we can catch it. If not, again, I'm okay with like kind of just chilling a little bit for this week. This week is a lot more choppy than it was, or this time of the year is a lot more choppy than it was last year. If you guys remember January last year, market was pretty smooth. It just went straight up for the most part. I think we took a lot of buys last year. Let me check real quick. Yeah, looking at the spreadsheet last year, actually we took a couple of sells, but for the most part, it was like mostly buys. It was like 17 buys for January of 2023. But same thing, volatility was super high. Let me see the screenshot. Yeah, so you guys can see over here, the entries that came up last year, it was really smooth. This is January 5th of last year. It was just a smooth push to the downside. So this is what's cool about having our spreadsheets here, is that you guys can see the entries that come up. You guys can see over here, it was pretty much a really big push in one direction. like you look at any of the entries here, it's not like how today's market is. So actually, this is kind of like today's market. This is on January 9th. And it's kind of similar to what we have today right here. It is moving up, but it's not a really smooth push to the upside. So it's more of a range, then it pushes up and it pulls back down. So it is an upwards trend, but it's not very strong. All right. So again, here we are just looking for any opportunity for entry. $6.54 right now, so we still have some time. We got a lot of time actually. I'm just hoping that price actually moves in a direction, because if it continues to move within this range, like I'm going to keep coming back to this clean chart over here so that you guys can see where the manipulation's happening at this resistance level. If price doesn't push out of this area, then I'm probably not going to look for any entries until it does, because it's probably going to fake out again right here and then pull back into the range. And the volatility is not really helping right now either. There we go with the double top at the higher high. So if this breaks and closes past it, it could be a possible high-low scalp. Again, I'm not really looking to take any trades here until price pushes away from the resistance level. And you can see right there, it's another fake out. So it's been a bunch of fake outs right here. One fake out, 2, 3, 4 right here. Bunch of fake outs right there, and then it pulls back down. So this whole area right here is not a good area to be trading in at all. Yeah, Andrew said yawn indicator pending. Nick said double wick on top. Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, so Nick said a double wick on top, red momentum signal upcoming might be a good sell. Yeah, if it pulls back into this area, it could be a possible sell. Yeah, but and again, right there, no longer a double wick. It's now pushing up like super heavy. So this is exactly what we were waiting for, right? So this is kind of what I was warning you guys about. I said I wouldn't be willing to take any trades until price pushes out of this area. And now it's finally pushing out. This could technically be a high-low scalp, but I'm not going to take it. It's a little too far out again. This is the all-time high? It's not, right? No, it's not. Price pulled back down super heavily over the past couple of weeks. So this could be a possible high-low scalp if it closes above this area. But again, I still don't like this area here because it's still in the fake out territory. It's still around the resistance level right here. So, I mean, I'll follow it. If it closes, I'll mark it up for you guys to follow. If anybody wants to take it, I'm not going to take it myself, but I'll just see how this here plays through. So this right here would technically be the high-low scalp, the original high-low scalp. We had price breaking close past the higher high right here. And this here would be the high-low scalp version 1. All right. I'm not in this position, guys. I just marked it up for you guys. Again, I told you guys that I don't really feel comfortable trading around this area because it's still within the 1-minute resistance. So, I mean, price might come back down. I'll take a trade if it pushes far out from here, but this area right here is just not a good area for me to want to trade in because there's so many fake outs. You know, after seeing all these fake outs right here, it's like no surprise that a fake out could happen again right here. You gotta use what has happened earlier in the session moving forward, right? So if you see like if early in the morning you see a nice trend, then odds are price is going to continue moving in that direction, you know, for the rest of the session. However, if you see a big range over here and then you see a bunch of fake outs like right here, then just be wary when you guys ever take a trade because there's probably going to be another fake out. That's exactly what happened right here. So again, right here, same situation, another fake out right there. Came back for the retest of the resistance level, and it might just climb from here. So again, I'm going to sit on my hands today, guys. If I see something really good, I'll take it. I'll let you guys know if I see something really good. But at this very moment, this is kind of the same situation that was happening yesterday. Messy market, very choppy, spikes back and forth. The ATR is starting to kind of die down a little bit. You can see over here. I think the ATR slows down like maybe 15, it'll be even better. Because I'd prefer it to be around 15 versus like 20 or above 20. Because the volatility is just too messy, unless you have a wider TP stop loss. I mean, if anything, we could have a wider TP stop loss, but I don't want to make adjustments yet until we have a good confirmation of like what's going to be happening. So there's a momentum pullback scalp that is currently running right now that Maddie just mentioned. It's currently running from right here. I don't know if anybody was able to catch that, but there was a momentum pullback scalp that happened right there. So we had a buy signal right here. The trend confirmed right here at this very point. Price pushed up, retraced from this red candle. Entry would have happened at the next 10 mark right here. This is where your buy limit would be sitting. Price would have came down, filled it, and shot right back up. It happened too quickly. I wasn't able to catch that, but Maddie did identify it properly. So thanks, Maddie, for confirming that. Now right there would have been a momentum pullback scalp entry. I don't think I would have taken it regardless because I still, like I mentioned, I don't like this area right here where price keeps faking out at. So, I mean, either way, I probably wouldn't have taken it myself. I'm just being very cautious during this week because this week could kind of make or break your account, right? And the thing is, I don't like trading when the market's in those types of conditions. I like trading when the market's smooth, when it's pretty clear what's happening. Yeah, there's no need to really force any trades. We're like on January 4th, so we have like a whole 12 months ahead of us to really make profits. I'm not here looking to rush the process at all. I've been doing this for years, so I already understand that when the market's not moving the way that we need to, it's best to kind of wait it out. Yeah, so both entries here hit. Here's the high-low scalp that I marked up earlier, and then also the momentum pullback scalp. So this one over here hit, a high-low scalp hit, but again, I would consider these risky entries because it's just, there's no need to risk, like over risk during these types of markets, guys. And this is what I was waiting for. So now that price is finally pushed above here, okay, then maybe I'll look for some entries at this point. So now that price is outside of this hold manipulated area, I'm going to look for price to kind of push up a little bit, retrace, and then continue back up. And that's where I'm going to be looking to take my entry from here. And it's just patience, guys. You'll see entries like this and you might want to FOMO into a trade. But once you get better at controlling your FOMO, that's kind of where you start to catch your stride. Because everything is kind of lining up with what we anticipated from this morning, right? So this morning, we anticipated a bullish push. The bullish push came, it just came a little late. There's a liquidity over here. Liquidity came back for the retest of the area, full TPs. So there's three different entries that pretty much hit over here. The liquidity, we had the high-low scalp, and we had the momentum pullback scalp right here. There's no more momentum pullback scalps because there's only one per momentum. So this is pretty much done with. The only thing that you would probably look for here would be a breakout V3 continuation. So you'd look for price to maybe consolidate down a little bit and then come back up. So that's pretty much it for now. Leave it at here. And we'll see if there's anything else for us to take here as we continue to follow along. Mr. Gibbs is asking, what is your recommended position size on a 100K FTMO account? I mean, depends on what type of entry you're taking. If you're taking our entries here for the smaller scalps, then you'd probably use 100 lot max. So anything below that's fine, but you never want to go above 100 lots. I use 200 lots on a 200K account, so you're basically just doing half of what I do. But again, I'm only looking for quality entries. So if you're looking to take more than, like you're trying to take more entries, then I would lower your lot size. Don't use anything above 100. Like if you're planning on taking 5 or 6 trades and cut that into pieces. So maybe use a 25 or a 50 lot. For me, I'm looking for 1 or 2 good trades a day. so I can use higher lot size because I'm looking for quality. So I see a quality entry, I'll take it. And that 100 lot, that 200 lot trade is basically equivalent to like 4 trades, but I'm risking it on like one go. Um, one second, guys, sorry. Yeah, and Rashida said the V3 never came up. Sisu caught 200 pips, met some confluences, and lined up with my analysis. So we took it with caution. Yeah, nice work, Sisu. Jeff's asking Sean, how do you know whether the liquidity push, it is a liquidity push or just faking out? So I think you would just have to like figure out what like what's going on at that specific time. So I think there was liquidity over here, but it was like right next to news. So liquidity touched right here, but it was right at news, so I wouldn't have taken it. At that point, I would just wait for the retest. So like for example, right here, news happened at 6:45, right? So this touched over here at like 6:45. This over here touched like on open. So obviously I wouldn't take it on open, but it retouched over here. This was right at news. And then when it came back down, then I would take it when it's like pretty much out in the clear, like when there's nothing going on. Because when there's nothing going on, like the second touch right here, this is like the actual push where it pushes through. The problem with this here is that if you took the entry right before news, because news is at 6:45, you would have gotten the entry here because price was pushing up. But then when news happened, because it was news was negative, right? News was negative, it just pulled it back down. And then it corrected right back up to where it was supposed to be. So the main thing would to just be aware of like what's going on at the time of the at the time of entry. So you want to avoid red flags. You want to avoid news, like just things like that. I think this whole area here you'd probably be careful for because there was a bunch of news events all within this area. So there's a couple factors. You want to look at like what's happening during that time, and then look at the area to see if there's any red flags. You know, news, opening price, sessions. Those are things that you want to be careful for, because we just want to look for reasons why the trade will fake out on the initial touch. And that's why a lot of people wait for it to touch a second time, because the first time is usually a fake out, and the second time is where it pushes right through, unless it's a clear entry. All right, so we got the sessions up here. We're currently at the New York high. We're almost at the New York high. This is another area of manipulation right here that we don't want to be trading around. Price has not gotten to the sessions yet, so that's good for us. What I'd like to see right here is I would probably like to see price come down a bit, right? Come down slightly and then make its way back up, and then hopefully be able to get an entry somewhere around here. You can kind of see that it kind of lines up with like an inverted head and shoulders. A lot of you guys like that pattern because it's pretty clear, right? If you have an inverted head and shoulders like this can set up for that little pattern. I don't necessarily look for the patterns, but this is kind of what I'd be looking for it to swing back up. And then my entry would be somewhere down this middle area right here, basically around the neckline. All right, so other than that, again, we're back to waiting. Yeah, Rashida says she's trying to get one smack TP before her dentist appointment. Yeah, I'm hoping so too, because once it gets closer to 7:30, that's usually the time where I don't like to take any more trades. Um, I usually have, well, you guys already know my cutoff is between 6:30 and 8, but then I become a little more cautious around 7:30. The reason for that is because the volatility starts to die down a lot. The volatility was kind of crazy here on open. And you can see here that the volatility is starting to get a little bit lower. It's currently at 18 right now. It was at 20 earlier. It's back to 19. And it just keeps getting lower and lower. So, I wouldn't be surprised in the next 20 minutes, this thing goes down to like 17, 16, 15, etc. But we really just need a sell signal. So we need a sell signal for price to come down to confirm the retracement and then look for it to come back up. Yeah, next to there goes that momentum signal. Didn't actually close though, so gotta wait for it. Otherwise, price might just range around this area again. So this might just, it might just be a new range within this area. So, all right, this is now the 1 minute resistance level. And this would be the 1 minute support. The key thing about market conditions like this is understanding when to trade and when not to trade, right? So I feel like a lot of people just feel the need to take trade. In a situation like this, it's kind of best to just sit back and wait and see what happens. I know there's going to be a lot of entries that may come up. If it fits your criteria and you feel comfortable taking it, then go ahead and take the entry. But if it doesn't, then you obviously want to wait. So for example, right here, we have another high-low scalp that might be setting up. If this candle breaks and closes past this line, this is going to be an original high-low scalp. The only problem is that it's going to be right at the sessions. So if it's right at the sessions, that's where you don't want to take a trade because it's where manipulation happens. So for me personally, I won't take this trade. Well, I mean, obviously I'm not going to take it, but again, I'll mark it up for you guys for those of you who want to take it. So again, if you're looking for the original high-low scalp, you need this candle to break and close past this blue line. If it does that, then this will be an entry for a high-low scalp. However, it's right at the session, so this is an area of manipulation where you want to be careful for. So again, right here, this is a high-low scalp. It's currently running. I mean, this might come up, push up, and hit the sessions and come right back down. That's kind of what could happen there. But again, I wouldn't really want to mess with this trade here. It's too close to the sessions, and it's already in an area of manipulation. So yeah, and then Nick also mentioned that the candle close is very iffy. Rashida said it was too risky. I agree. It's not one I would take. It's too close. Anything that's like, I guess like 10 pips or 100 pips away from the New York high or whatever it may be. It doesn't matter if it's a New York high or Asia high. Any of the sessions, it's too close to manipulation for me because you can see right here where price is pretty much getting manipulated again. It's basically the same exact pattern. So look over here when price was breaking the resistance level right here and it faked out. It's doing the same exact thing again right here. So price pushed up, faked out, came back down. Price pushed up, got past the resistance level, faked out, and then now it's coming back down. So it's like literally the same exact pattern. This right here, right here. So this is why it's important that you guys pay attention to what happens earlier in the session because it just happens again. It's just a repeated process, right? Price comes up, look for the fake out. Price comes up, looks for the fake out. If you want to be really slick, I mean, you can technically take the trade in the other direction, but at that point, you're kind of just gambling, right? Because you're kind of gambling for the same situation to happen, which it typically does happen. But I personally wouldn't really risk it. I would just stick to your bias, stick in the direction that you want to trade in. For us here, our direction's for a buy, but there's just a lot of fake outs that happen here. Purity's asking if that is a high-low momentum scalp. I don't see any high-low momentum scalp over here, Purity. The high-low momentum scalp is based off a momentum signal. So you would need a momentum signal in order for it to be a high-low momentum scalp. You'd have to have a higher high, and then price would have to break below pivots 1 and 2 here with the sell signal. So there's no high-low momentum scalp here at all. There's a high-low scalp here. This is an original high-low scalp, but not a high-low momentum scalp. That one's like a completely different strategy. All right, so we don't really have too much going on here. As you can see, price is pushing up. The high-low scalp is still currently running in profit. I'm not in this position, but we're just watching it. This is one that I marked up for you guys to follow, or if anybody wanted to take it, you had opportunity there. So again, right there, price pushed up, popped right up to the sessions, and expect another fake out. So I wouldn't be surprised if it comes right back down. But again, if you guys take the high-low scalp here, you guys can see there's a lot of entries that have been coming up. There's 2 high-low scalps that came up. There was a momentum pullback scalp that happened over here. There's liquidity over here. So you guys can see there's a lot of opportunity to take entries. The there's a lot of different opportunities here. There's another liquidity push that happened right there, full TP. So if anybody wants to take that, that'd be another entry point for whoever wanted to take it. Yeah, I mean, same situation. There's a lot of entries here that come up, but it just depends on like if you want to take it or not. For me personally, I'm only looking for like the very highest quality of entry, and I haven't seen any quality entries for today. There's entries that come up, but they're not quality in my opinion. When you take an entry like this, you probably have like maybe a 60 to 70% win rate or a 60 to 70% probability of it hitting. And I don't like that probability. I like something higher than that. So I want it to be like a 70 to 80% probability. So in order for me to have that, I need to have confluence. I need price to be away from any red flags. So there's just a lot of different criteria for you to look at. Whoever tells you trading is easy, it's not easy. There's a lot of different factors that go into it. And if you want to be very detailed and on point with your entries, you have to use multiple confluences. You can't just look at the entry because the entry came up here, but there's a lot of reasons for me not to take the trade, and that's why I didn't take it. So again, I'm still looking for an entry here. I think the main thing that I was looking for would be a breakout V3 continuation, but we didn't even have a breakout V3 today yet. So for example, market opened over here at 6:30. We had a buy signal. There was no following green candle. So the breakout V3 actually has not come up yet. So even the original breakout V3, that not the continuation, but the actual breakout V3 has not appeared yet. But the good thing here is that our bias played out perfect. So earlier in this morning, like right before the session, I told you guys that price is probably going to be bullish. And that's exactly what happened here, right? Price was bullish, but there just were no opportunities for me to want to take any trades. So price is bullish, two high-low scalps came up, one momentum pullback scalp, and then two liquidities over here, or three liquidities actually. There was one red line, blue line, and another blue line right here. So there's a lot of opportunities in the market, just not opportunities that I would personally take myself. And again, right here, you guys can see the manipulation happening at the sessions. This is why you don't trade at the sessions. As you can see how price is bouncing back and forth. No direction at all. All right. So here we go. As price comes back down. No real surprise there. Here goes a retracement. Yeah, exactly, Rashid. Here goes a retracement that we were kind of waiting for. So I don't mind the retracement. Actually, I do want price to retrace down, but we need it to retrace down a bit heavier. Or if it retraces down right here, hopefully it just stops at this point, provides a double body rejection, and then comes back up with the buy signal so that we can start looking for a trade up here. Oh, that would be perfect. Yeah, Rashida said deep like to the orange pivot. That would be solid. If that was the case, that'd be great because we can now write it back to the sessions, right? So best case scenario is there's two different scenarios here that'll play out. Let me just zoom in a little bit. So we have a sell signal right here. The first scenario is that price pulls back deeper and then it comes back up and we can get entry somewhere down the middle right here. That's probably best case scenario. The runner up is, oh, it's not going to set up for us here, but the runner up is if we had a double body right here. Say we got the sell signal, we had a double body rejection or double wick, price pushed up above this area with the sell signal. Then it came down slightly right here, but didn't touch the sessions. See, this would be runner up. We would want something like that, but there's no double body here. Actually, there's a double wick. So this could still be good as well. Or the other scenario that Camel mentioned, a V3 sell, which didn't come up right there, Camel. So there could have been a V3 sell there as well, which would pull down to the pivots, right? So you could have taken the V3 sell there as well if it did come up, but it didn't. So unfortunately, no V3 sell there, but that could have been another opportunity. Sell signal with the red candle, but there was no red candle there, no opportunity. So price doesn't come any lower. If price just stays where it's currently at right here, there is a double wick rejection, but you can't have any candles come lower than this point right here. So price can't come below this point. If it does, this double wick rejection is invalidated. And again, right there, you can see that it's no longer valid. So at this point, there is no confluence for a reversal here. And we're just, again, just waiting. And you guys can see the volatility is coming back down. So it's pretty much doing what we were expecting. It's 718 right now. It's getting closer to 730 as the ETR gets lower and lower. It's now at 16. Volatility started to die down quite a bit. Yeah, Rashida said good. She wants it to come down lower. Same here. So I want it to either go like, like I mentioned earlier, the scenario that we're looking for is for price to pull down kind of deep to like the orange or the red pivot and then come back up. That's like best case scenario, because then you'll have this whole area right here to trade it, right? You can trade within this whole area before it gets to the sessions. And what typically happens is when price pulls down like that, the target price point is generally going to be right back at the sessions, right? That's typically where price comes back to. So that's why we want it to dip down a bit so that we can catch this as it swings back up. Okay, yeah, so this right here is a high-low momentum scalp that's currently running period. So this does meet the criteria. We had a higher high right here. Sell signal, broken close past pivots 1 and 2. And this right here would be the high-low momentum scalp. And it looks like I already hit TP right there. So yeah, you identify that one properly, Purity. I don't know if anybody took that. I haven't even looked at this in a while. This used to be one of our staples. So this used to be one of the main strategies that we would apply. It works very well during a ranging market. So today the market was ranging a little bit. It wasn't a super heavy range, but market was still ranging earlier down here. It was ranging, price pushed up, and it came back down. And that used to be one of the strategies that we would use during certain market conditions, mainly when the market was ranging. So I know that's one of your favorites, Purity. So if you want to continue looking for those, keep looking at them. If you want to call them out, you can call them out. I can confirm. But they work very well during a ranging market. Right now, market is kind of ranging a little bit. I mean, it's kind of hard to see here, but it is ranging a little bit. Sam said, I thought it was called the K2 high-low momentum scalp. Yeah, that's what we called it, Sam. So if you look at the chat right there, Purity said the high-low momentum scalp. That's exactly what she called it. The high-low scalp is where there's no momentum. So, earlier we had the high-low scalps like this one over here. There is no momentum. So that's just a high-low scalp. If you're looking for the high-low momentum scalp, then you have a higher high, sell signal breaking close below it. And that's the difference between the two. Because one of them uses momentum, the other one doesn't use momentum. So yeah, you're right, Sam. That's what it's called. And that's what we were referring to it as. All right, so there's nothing else right here, guys. I mean, price is still going back and forth. Price is still kind of, I don't know, it's like in a consolidation phase right now. The ATR is starting to drop a bit lower. You can see it's now at 15. This is pretty much what we anticipated. Earlier, you can see the ATR was at like 20. It went down to 18. And I mentioned as we get closer to 730, it's going to drop down below 15. This is why I don't really like trading past 730, because the volatility gets way too low and it just starts to consolidate and go sideways. So yeah, Kenneth said it also seems that it works well in a highly volatile market because price typically or usually pushes at least. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so the thing with the high-low momentum scalp is that it works very well in a ranging market, but it works even better in a ranging market with high volatility. I think that's probably the best type of market to be trading it in. So I don't know if there's any other entries that came up here. Probably not, because there was no other momentum signals. But if there was momentum signals back and forth around this area where price was ranging, then it would have been a good situation there to take it, because price typically pushes at least 100 pips back and forth during situations like that. But again, there's no opportunities here at the moment. Let's see, Vince hit a V1 at 722. I don't see one right here right now. Yeah, it didn't close, minutes. Yeah. So Andrew said that he saw it pending too, but it didn't actually close. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at everything again. So retail sentiment is currently 82% short. This indicates that 82% of retail traders are currently selling right now. You typically want to do the opposite and buy. So with the retail sentiment, it's currently bullish. Looking over here at the fundamentals are currently bullish right now. They're up 152 points. And looking over here at the technicals, everything's pretty much bullish as well. So yeah, bullish buys right now across the board. 1 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute, all bullish. 30 minute here is attempting to switch to bullish. 1 hour is neutral. And the 4 hour over here is neutral as well. I mean, liquidity is pretty much done for the most part, unless price pushes back up to the next level, which I don't think will happen in the next 30 minutes. Here's our clean chart. Let's see if I want to draw a structure here. Yeah, I guess the structure works. So, I mean, we have a 1 minute resistance level right here down the middle. And then we have, I mean, price is pretty much just ranging between these two levels here. So this would be the midpoint, and these would be the high lows. ATR is currently at 15, so it's pretty slow now. Thanks, Randy, for the heads up. There's not really too much to work with here. So I mention this every NFP week, right? NFP week is either going to be very good or it's going to be very bad, or it's just going to be very flat. So it seems like this NFP week is kind of like on the flat side. It's not really great for us. Like we're not seeing too many good entries. We're also not seeing too many bad entries. The entries are still hitting. It's just we're not taking the entries because they're in risky areas. So I think this is going to be one of those NFP weeks that the market's just kind of flat all throughout. It was kind of flat on Monday. We took one, or Tuesday actually. Tuesday, the market was kind of flat. We took like, I think I've only taken one trade this entire week. So yeah, I only took one trade on January 2nd, which is Tuesday. I just took one trade. So I would consider this maybe just flat. There's not really too much here to really work with or look at. I'm not doing well, I'm not doing bad. I'm just kind of doing okay because there's not too many opportunities here that I would personally take myself. So it's kind of just moving a little flat here. See what we got over here. So we got some more profits over here. We got Craig with a total profit of 2,560 on his first account. Craig's second account, total profit of 930. That's where Craig. Some more profits here as well. 820, 210. And Craig's third account, 1,110. That's where Craig. And I think that's it for right now. There's not really too much else for us to work with here. I mean, this could be a possible pivot scalp entry, maybe a breakout V3 continuation. So there's a possible, I mean, if it closes with a buy signal. So if this here closes with the buy signal, this is one of those buy entries that Craig typically likes to take. It's an original pivot scalp entry, but it's the setup here is nice because, and it didn't actually close, so there's no entry there. But this is the setup that I was talking about. So like basically price pushes up, retraces down, pushes back up, buy signal right there, and the pivots are pretty much lined up nicely. So that is one of the possible opportunities there for the pivot scalp. The only problem here is that it's going to be right next to the session, so probably wouldn't want to mess with it. And also it's right next to news too. There's news over here at 7:30. So just a lot of reasons not to take a trade. Again, like I mentioned, guys, the main thing for us to, or that I look at personally is whenever I see an entry, I look for all the reasons not to take the entry, right? I don't just take an entry because it comes up. I take an entry, or I look at an entry and then I analyze it for reasons not to take it. So for example, right here, if a buy signal does come up, there's a lot of things here that are kind of pointing us towards not taking the entry. For one, news is right here at 7:30. Two, it's right at the sessions. There's just a lot of opportunities here that don't align with what we're looking for. So, and again, the buy signal didn't even close. The ATR is just getting lower and lower, as you guys can see. ATR is down to 14 now. So it's the same thing every day. Like we've been trading like this every single day. So I already know when the ATR goes down. So like closer to 7:30, the ATR dies down. There's not really any good entries that come up. They might come up, but then if they do come up, they're going to take forever to hit. Like you'll take an entry and you'll hold on to it for like 5 or 10 minutes versus it hitting like right away, like it's supposed to. And the ATR is just getting lower. It's now 13. All right, here goes a news candle. It's low impact news, so I'm not really expecting too much from it. So we got that right there. Yeah, so Vince took the V1 that he mentioned earlier, and he just pulled out early from it. Nice work. Nice work, Eunice. Eunice locked in a total profit of 824. Yeah, no, you made the right move, Vince. You made the right move of pulling out of it early because, I mean, it wasn't even a good entry to begin with. That's why I held off on it. Yeah, from the high low V2. Yeah, and the thing is that entry came up so quickly that we weren't even able to fully analyze it. So again, like that goes back to what I just said. Like whenever you see an entry, guys, you should think of reasons not to take the entry. That high-low scalp V2 that came up earlier this morning, it just came up super quick. So like whoever was actually analyzing it, they were able to see it and spot it. But for me personally, I didn't even really see anything worthwhile from that specific trade. There's a double body right here. It's setting up for a V1 variation, but it's not exactly one that I would personally want to take because the volatility is so low. Price is kind of just going back and forth. I would use this as a confluence, but not as a standalone entry. So there's a V1 pattern here coming up. But the problem here is that it was right after news. So news is right there. The news was positive. So this right here would be a V1 variation. I would use this as a confluence. I wouldn't necessarily take it as standalone, but as a confluence. You know, like that entry that you mentioned earlier, Vince, I think that was actually a V1 entry that you mentioned because it was a double wick. One before, right here. Yeah, so this actually was a V1 that that Vince was mentioning. It just didn't look good because it wasn't like there were two red candles. Typically, you want them to be like one red and one green because it's a reversal to the upside, but it was still a double wick right here that Vince mentioned earlier in the session. It just kind of invalidated, but then it did end up hitting right there. So the one that you mentioned earlier, Vince, it was actually a V1 variation. It just wasn't a good one because where it's kind of like tricky because they're both red candles. Usually, like whenever you see a V1 like this, they're two different colors, right? You get a red candle, you get a green candle, double body, double wick, full TP. But this right here was the same thing. It was a double wick, but there were two red candles. So this would be a V1 variation, double wick. And kind of went back and forth for a while, but eventually did hit CP right there. Same with this one right here. All right, so we got some more profits here from Andrew. So Andrew said he took the second touch of liquidity earlier, but he lowered his lot size to protect his profit. So Andrew logged in the total profit of 136 per account. So about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 700 for the day. All wins. Nice work, Andrew. All right, other than that, we will continue to look for any possible entries here. But again, the volatility is kind of low. Market's still bullish. We currently have a pending buy signal. The only problem is that it's right at the sessions again. All right, so if this is the case, I'm just going to be careful again tomorrow because it's NFP, and we already know how NFP is working this month. NFP is not necessarily good or it's not necessarily bad. It's kind of just flat. It's flat and neutral. However, the ATR is low again, guys, so I don't know if anybody's looking to take any more entries, but unless it stays above 15, I'm probably not going to look for anything here because the last thing I want to do is hold on to a position longer than I need to. So yeah, like Jonathan said over here, today's market is helping him with patience and discipline. Has to be very selective. Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing with a lot of people. It's just being able to sit out of the market, right? I feel like that's the hardest thing for a lot of people, especially when you see a bunch of these entries coming up and you get that FOMO where you want to take the trade. Like you guys got to remember for FTMO, there's no rush to pass. Like I think where's Steven's not even here. Like Steven's goal was to make 1,000 pips a day, which is crazy. I don't know like anybody who makes 1,000 pips every single day consistently because he wants to pass like in a day, which is crazy. It's just not possible, guys. It's better to have no losses and continue with like your consistency, making a couple pips here and there, where it adds up at the end of the week. But yeah, I mean, have realistic goals. I think realistic goals is like maybe, his goal was 1,000. So initially he wanted to make 1,000 pips a day on gold. So he was asking in the chat for a guaranteed strategy basically. And then we told him that that's impossible. So he said, okay, he wants to make 1,000 a day, which is possible, but long story short, Steven just traded gold on his own and blew his account. So that's kind of why he's not here right now. But he'll be back. He'll be back eventually. Yeah, he kind of just did his own thing and he blew his account. I mean, we don't even trade gold here. So that trade definitely didn't come from us. But yeah, I mean, he's like a prime example of like, before you can excel, you need to learn, you need to be able to follow a trading plan. And yeah, and Kevin even said Maddie told him to log off. He logged off the session and then he traded gold. So he did listen to Maddie. He listened to Maddie when Maddie told him to log off, but then he logged off the Zoom, but he stayed on his MT4 and traded gold and just blew his account. Unfortunately, it's I hate to see that. I hate to see somebody end up in that cycle and they just keep going the same cycle. And you guys know what that is, right? It's like they'll start, they'll like start one thing, do well, flatline, do their own thing, blow their account, reset. And if you guys have been part of the group for a while, you guys, a lot of you guys know Steven. It's not like we're trying to bad talk Steven. This is just Steven. That's just who he is. He's just the type of person to and we're not missing any trades here, guys. It's it's kind of just going sideways. So like I'll just draw here. Kind of the process that a lot of people go through, which I hate to see, but it's so common for a lot of people. And it sucks because the only way to get over this is to actually, follow directions. So like usually it'll start with like right here, profitability. FOMO greed. Losses after losses on own. Close account. Gonna do things right this time. Same cycle. This is literally everybody's cycle, right? They start with the group, they get profitability, and then the market isn't really moving too much, so they get FOMO greed. They start to lose because they keep revenge trading. They blow their account. They say, okay, I'm gonna do things right this time. I'm gonna listen to Sean, and I'm only gonna take the trades on the live session. Profitability, they follow directions for like a couple days. FOMO, greed, losses, blows account, same thing over and over and over again. This happens with a lot of people. I mean, it's sad, but this is the real thing. It really happens with a lot of people. Like if you could just stay in this area right here, like you follow directions and you stay profitable, it's going to be a slow gain. Like you're going to gain a little bit, gain a little bit, gain a little bit, but eventually you're going to find consistency. If you could cut out FOMO, like if you guys can cut this out, FOMO, and then cut out revenge trading and over trading, you'll be perfectly fine because you'll just stay profitable. You'll stay profitable, and then it'll stay flat. You'll stay profitable, stay flat, profitable, etc. I mean, it sucks. It sucks to see like people in our group like this happens to. But I mean, you can't help someone who doesn't want help, right? You have to follow the directions to really to get to that next level. But yeah, guys, I just wanted to break that down for you guys because sometimes people don't realize it until like you actually show it to them. Like, and I'm sure that a lot of you guys see this and you guys fall in the same pattern of a lot of people. You'll join the group, you'll do really well initially. The market starts to get flat and you start to get greedy. You take your own trades. And it's okay to take your own trades, but just make sure that you have a game plan. It's just the same thing. And then this is the worst part because they're like, oh, I'm gonna do things right. And then they're like, okay, I'll follow for a little bit and then same process. But yeah. Sometimes you guys just have to see the cycle in front of you to see that it's, and it's a common thing. It happens with everybody. And it's not even just our group. It's like if you guys trade with any group or you trade with, if you trade at all, you mark up like where you guys mess up. It's usually that same situation. But Kenneth said, sounds like his risk management is off too if he blew his account in one day. Not really risk management, it's just over trading. So let me show you guys real quick. Receipts. So see, this isn't risk management. This is over trading. And he had a win right here, actually. He actually had a win, and then he took his own trades here and he lost. And he just revenge traded. And then Maddie's like, get off the live session. He got off the live session, traded gold, and then blew his account. So this isn't risk management. This is over trading and revenge trading. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but I mean, it is what it is, right? Back on the reset. but that's kind of just like, it happens with everybody. And it's just unfortunate. But anyways, guys, there's the pivot scalp trade that's running right here. I wouldn't take the trade because it's right at the sessions, but this right here would be, I mean, it would have hit, but again, it's too close to the sessions right here. Yeah, I was gonna say that's considered insanity if they keep doing it over and think the outcome will be different. Yeah. Yeah, Joshua said, wow, man, that should be added as a lesson on Teachable. Yeah, I think I'll probably add that as I'll break it down and I'll kind of show you guys because I feel like a lot of people don't realize that they're in a cycle of like losses until like you actually see it. And then if I just draw it like the circle, the cycle, you guys can see that. And I'm sure a lot of people have been there before. I've been there before too. Like before I was profitable, I was the same way. Um, and I think the best way to get over that is to journal your trades. So a lot of people don't journal their trades. So if you guys want to copy my journal, just go over to the Discord channel, go to 2023 official live trades, click on this right here. When you click on that, it'll pull up this spreadsheet and you guys can just document all your trades. Because if you guys do this, you guys can see where you're starting to make mistakes and then you can make improvements from there. I mean, you gotta humble yourself and write up all the losses and all the wins and hopefully you'll learn from it, but it's tough. It's not easy. Yeah, Cameron said he used to look for a trade every day. Learn from you to look for setups. If you don't see it, then oh well. Yeah, it's exactly what it is. All right, guys. So it's getting closer to 8 o'clock. If there's any other questions that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat. Again, today was just not really a good day for the market. We had a lot of, let me just show you guys from the start. So from the start over here, we had a huge range. Price was ranging like almost like 600 to 700 pips. And there just wasn't any direction. Price finally got some direction here, but then it just went back into the range within this area. So like realistically, there's not really too much here. Price is pretty much just, it moves from range to range, or it's been moving from range to range throughout the session. And this is kind of the same situation that happened yesterday. It was, there's just not much for us to take here. I mean, there's entries that are coming up. They're not considered quality in my opinion. So I didn't take any trades today. So, I mean, if there's any other questions that you guys have, feel free to, put them in the chat. If you guys have a problem with staying consistently profitable or staying profitable or consistent at all, reach out to me or reach out to the group. My goal here is to help you guys out. Like for this week so far, we've had how many people get funded? Like my goal is to get you guys on everybody else's level, right? So Dejan over here just got funded yesterday. Dejan's been a long time member here in the group. He had the same problem of being stuck in that cycle, and he just got funded on Top Step. So big congrats to Dejan over here getting funded on Top Step. Also this week we had Albert who got funded on TFF. So big congrats to Albert over here getting funded on TFF. And we also there was one other person here. Let me see if I can find it. There was one other person here who got funded. So we got Dejan, we got Albert. I swear there was one other person, but maybe I forgot to post it up somewhere. But yeah, congrats to that person too, whoever else got funded. I know there's at least one more person who got funded this week. There's 3 people who got funded this week. But yeah, it's all good. Some last minute profits over here. We got CT over here, total profit of 898 per account. So about 4 accounts here, total profit of about 4,000. Nice work, CT. He took a couple high lows and momentum pullback scalps. Over here, Kenneth, he said profit on funded he messed around and found out on his evaluation. So unfortunately, right here, he made 155, and then he messed around on his evaluation and unfortunately took a loss there, but it's all good. It happens. And then lastly, we have Martha over here with a total profit of 315 for the day. So solid work, guys. I didn't take any trades myself, but still did pretty good for the group in as a whole. Seems like a lot of you guys took my entries here that I marked up, even though I didn't take it myself. But yeah, I'm glad that they all hit for you guys. See if there's anything else over here. So let's see. Let's see. Jeff said, Sean, I'm down 4,500 in my challenge account. I was wondering, should I burst and restart a new challenge or just continue trading small lot and recover from there? So there's two different scenarios that you can do. Like usually for me, like back then when I wasn't very consistent, are you on a 100K account, Jeff? Or I'm assuming you're on a 100K because it sounds like you're like really close to blowing the account. So what I would usually do is if I go down to 5%, that's where I would lower my lot size. So like, for example, if I'm on a 200K account, if I go down to equity of like 190, then I would lower my lot size a little bit. I mean, I guess you can just probably lower your lot size and then just try to build it up, like take more trades, like take riskier trades throughout the week. Because I think if you take like say if you were to maybe half your lot size and you took like maybe 3 or 4 trades a day, you can probably build it back up. Oh, you're on a 50K account. Oh, okay. So you're like basically at I mean, you can probably build it back up. I mean, it's really up to you, Jeff. For me personally, if I was in that situation, because I already know that, if I was in the situation, I would use the max lot size to make the maximum amount of profit. So I don't know what the lot size would be for you, but for whatever it would be for you to make the most amount of profit without blowing your account if it loses, like basically like a one trade, like a one and done type trade, right? Because you can lose 500. So I'd put the risk at 500, but if you just keep winning, so for example, let me see if I can pull up the quick trade manager on my thing. Because you can only lose 500. Oh, I can only have one EA open at once. All right, so let's see. You can only lose 500 and you're pretty much done. So you'd probably have to use like a 15 lot. Yeah, basically a 15 lot or a 16 lot. Yeah, you'd have to use a 16 lot. So in your situation, I would probably it's different for me and you because for me, I'd be looking for just quality entry. So I'd probably be just like banking on that one trade to hit every single day or a couple trades to hit every single day. You have to use like a 16 lot. You make about 160 per trade. And then as you make more profit, you can keep increasing to build it right back up. Because you're so close to blowing it already. So like, I've been in your situation where you kind of like, do I YOLO this account or do I just give it up and start a new one? I would just YOLO it because next week or like tomorrow could be a really good day for you. And you could because it's happened to me before. Like there's been a situation where I got into like some massive drawdown. And after that, like I took a bunch of losses or like 3 losses, and I was like about to blow my account. And then after that, I just had like 15 straight wins, like no losses. So I just ended up bringing the account all the way back up. So it's possible. It's just you just have to have confidence on the trade and then just let the trade run. Don't like pull it out for a partial profit. Because at that point, it's like you're gonna blow the account anyways. You might as well, tough it out and try to bring it back as high as possible until it ends up working or not working. So I mean that's what I would do personally. I don't know for you, it's a little slightly different. But you're using a 2 lot. Yeah, at this point, because it's gonna take forever for you to make it right back up, Jeff. I mean, unless it's gonna be a problem for you to buy another challenge, then you can just build it up from like that 2 lot, but it's gonna take you like It's going to take you like months to really get back up from where you're at. So, I mean, it's up to you. If you want to trade, if you want to grind it out with a small lot size, you can do that. But if it was my situation, I would go with the big lot size and I would just kind of try to build it up as quick as possible. But everybody's different. So I don't know what your situation is like. For me, I kind of have like an endless supply of like if I wanted to buy another account, I could just buy another account. But I know not everybody's in that situation. So yeah, if you're in the situation where you don't have enough to like buy another account, then I would just grind it out. But if you're okay with buying another account, then I would just, you know, try to bring it back up as quickly as possible. Let's see. Purity's asking what's a good maximum lot size. It depends on your account size, Purity. What's your account size? So we got a breakout V3 continuation that's possibly setting up right here. But the lot size here is, I mean, not the lot size, the candle here is going to be invalid. 50. Okay, yeah, if you're on a 50K count size, if you're on a 50K count size, then you should be using no more than 25 lots for these scalps. So you can use anything below 25 lots, but 25 lots is going to be your maximum. For like, because you're going to be risking, if you're using a 25 lot and then you're taking a 300 pip stop loss, then you're going to be risking about like 3% per trade. Yeah, Cameron said he's not taking anything, he's just staying on for the lesson. Yeah, I agree. I don't have anything else here for me to take either. Let me just check the YouTube real quick. Yeah, Kenneth said if we create an algorithm for our strategies with the current RR lot size would eventually blow our accounts. Yeah, exactly, Kenneth. So like Kenneth was mentioning it, how like people create algos and just automated strategies. For our trading style here, it's not really possible because it takes a little bit of discretion for us to like decide whether we want to take a trade or not. There's too many factors here for us to automate these strategies that we're taking. Because like for example, there's sessions, there's news, there's volatility. It's just there's too many things to look at for us to automate something like this. And I think that's a good thing because since it's like almost impossible to automate something like this, it requires somebody that's able to analyze the market and basically call things out like I do here. So the good thing with that is that like I can never be replaced basically, right? Nobody's going to be like can replace how I analyze the market and how I can like basically use my discretionary skills to decide whether to take a trade or not to take a trade. But yeah, no, I agree with you, Kenneth. I tried to automate these strategies early on, especially the one-to-one strategies. They actually work pretty well. Like I have a backtesting script here that I created for that. Let me see. Yeah, so if you guys remember the original strategy, there was this is our original strategy that we used to apply. It was just matching the trend meter with the signals. And it actually works pretty well. I don't know if the win rate was on this, but yeah, but the win rate was pretty high. It was like maybe 60 to 70%. This is what I used to call signals on, but I don't really use it anymore. But yeah, I had a backtesting script like this. So you can see like the profitability here. Like this doesn't work well in the 15-minute. It's like a 37% win rate. This is a 52% win rate. So this thing could just be automated on the 5-minute time frame. And as long as you take trades in a long time period, it'll be profitable. It's 53%. So a lot of these strategies can be automated. It's just you need to figure out which time frame it works best on and like little changes that need to be made. But I've been there before. Trust me, I've tried to automate these strategies. They're not easy to automate because there's too much discretion that's involved with deciding to take the trade or not. So, all right. Other than that, let me see if there's anything else that I'm missing. Yeah, Maddie's telling Brian here basically to focus on the assessment and execution of each strategy, make sure that prioritize, following the rules every day. Because that's really what it is. It's really just following the rules and sticking to it. But you can do it, Jeff. I mean, it's just going to take a long time. If you're taking small lot sizes, it's going to take a long time to rebuild it up. And like Rashida said, she said also just stick to one strat. I think if you guys really want to find consistency, I think the main strategy that you guys should focus on would be the breakout V3 continuation. Because that's kind of what me and Rashida have been doing. Like for the most part, that's like the only strategy that we've been kind of looking to and focusing on. And I think everybody's been doing pretty good. Another thing that a lot of people apply is the pivot scalp. This is the entry that Craig likes to take. It actually played out perfect, right? The one that I mentioned. So basically for the pivot scalp over here, price pushes up, retrace, buy signal, and you take the entry right there. So everybody has like kind of their favorite strategy that they like to apply. Some people, I think Daniel likes to apply the high level momentum scalp. So, if you want to keep things super simple and you want to stick to the live session, I would recommend just focusing on the breakout V3 continuation, because that's probably the easiest strategy to really follow. Like for example, right here, right? I'm just going to clear this up because we're not trading anymore. So we have a sell signal right here, red candle following it. Super simple sell entry right there, full TP. You just got to find the ones that are good. For example, right here, buy signal, green candle. Same thing again right there. This is pre-market, so the volatility is low, but still full TP. So red sell signal, red candle, full TP, right? I think this would probably be the easiest strategy if you guys want to just find consistency. Like this is all you need to follow. Red sell signal, red candle, and right there, full TP. It's super simple, guys. You just have to find one that works. Green buy signal right here, green candle, full TP. But this is like pre-market, so the volatility is kind of low. Obviously, you would take the trades during these times, but that's probably going to be like the easiest thing for you guys to do because it's not that hard. But all right, guys. Yeah, like Kenneth over here says that he only takes the momentum pullback scalp, which I think is another great strategy as well. That's another one too. Yeah, and Kenneth said he might take the breakout V3 if I'm for sure taking it as well. Yeah, so those are the two main strategies that we apply. We look for the momentum pullback scalps and the breakout version 3s continuation. Super simple, super straightforward. It's not a very difficult strategy to follow. So again, moving forward, I think with this year, guys, if you guys want to just stay consistent with what we're doing here in the live, you really just have to focus on the continuations, because the continuation will come up at least once or twice a day, and odds of it hitting are super likely. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for the day. It's 8 o'clock. Sorry that we kind of like dragged on for a bit, but I think a lot of you guys took some benefit from the breakdowns here. Maddie over here kind of got caught on the high-low scalp. He pulled out early for a small loss, so he just cut his losses down to half. Lost about 380 per account. So it's all good, Maddie. It happens. This is what's necessary. You guys got to see that it's not always going to be green charts every single day. Maddie over here made a little mistake with the trade, pulled out early. Thankfully, he pulled out early and he cut his losses in half. We got Gian over here, total profit of 820 for the day. That's where Gian. Looks like he took a tester trade and then he took the full trade after, full TP. Great work right there, Gian. So, all right, guys, I think that's about it. So if there's any other questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I will see you guys back here tomorrow. Hopefully the market moves a bit smoother as we wrap up the week for NFP. But if not, we're going to take it easy, not really force anything as the next day comes along. So, all right, guys, other than that, if you guys have questions, reach out. Otherwise, I'll see you guys back here